Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick Hackworth, and you're tuned in to the Nightly News. Tonight, our top story comes from the Washington Post. Education should encompass the good, the bad, and the everything. The Washington Post editorial board believes there should be a limit on how public school teachers can discuss race in their classrooms, but how far can that go? Proliferation of bills have been introduced that turn back momentum in schools to respond to reckoning about race-prompted actions. The Washington Post is a credible source as they contain and cover articles on government, politics, and etc. But this one might just be a little weird. Would banning critical race theory and minimizing references to slavery and discrimination actually help us? President Biden gave a speech at the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Massacre. He says, and I quote, "We can't just choose to learn what we want to know and not what we should know. We should know the good, the bad, and the everything." I agree with this statement to a certain extent. There definitely is no way that we can choose what not to learn. If students do have the option to know everything when they are faced with a problem of similar sense, they will hopefully be able to make a highly educated decision or guess. The problem with this is some teachers side by their beliefs, which makes it hard for students to create and express their own ideas freely. The article does address both sides, but more on the side of limiting what students learn about racism. They talk about Biden's dispute, yes, but completely contradict it after by talking about how Oklahoma is enacting legislation. Here's a photo from the Washington Post. Man protesting the teaching of critical race theory during a demonstration in front of the Los Alamitos Unified School District building. Due to the fact that there's an American flag in the back, or that he is wearing military uniform, could be highly influencing on people and make them think about their actions, decisions, and ideas. There might be a little bit of bias in this article. For example, a little bit of response bias when Biden talks about how he must know the good, the bad, and the everything. He gave this speech at the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Massacre, and people were really moved and sided with him. This could also be socially desirable, since people want to follow in the President of the United States. A local Dallas high school teacher says, and I quote, "I give students the facts and let them draw their own conclusions." This could be a little bit of sampling bias because he already has his own view and specific set of interests. Some things that could be added to make this article better would be charts to show how students react to what they're learning in the classroom and in school, or some sort of evidence that could help develop this argument a little bit better. So what does this mean for the adults? Well, only time can tell. We can only wait and see what kind of laws and acts are passed. But just know that your child and your student should freely have the ability to learn whatever knowledge they would like to. There should not be a law that puts a limit on what students can and cannot learn. Thanks for tuning in to the Nightly News. I'm your host, Nick, and I'll see y'all soon.